everyone, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a little bit of a different video, so I just wanted to say thank you, share some updates with you, and share a simple supper recipe. So as you may have noticed, we have not posted a video in about 2 weeks, so we've had a lot going on. I really appreciate your prayers and your sweet comments and DMs. For those of you who have gotten in touch with me and everything, everybody's okay, we're all fine. But we have had quite a bit going on with my mom, and so we had to just kind of put everything on hold and just kind of help her for a time, for a certain time period, so that we could get her through the things that she needed to get through. So it started by her house being put on the market. So she was in the process of moving, and it all happened very, very quickly. The kind of sale that they did was sort of like a weekend blitz, where she would not be in the house over the weekend, and they would show the house, you know, numerous times if they could, and hopefully have a contract on the house in the weekend. And that actually did happen. She had multiple offers and was able to accept a contract after just showing it over one weekend. So we had to clean out her house very quickly for that to happen. And she had a 3-bedroom house and was moving to a 1-bedroom apartment. So obviously a lot of things had to be cleared out of the house, and very, very quickly. So we did get that handled the first week. And fortunately, that was Katie's spring break week. So she was able to be a lot of help while Gary was in California on work. So, and he came back at the end of that week, just in time for the house to be put on the market. We moved my mom into our house temporarily for just a little bit of, maybe about a week and a half, until we could move her into her new place. So she hasn't closed on her house, but she does have the offer, and we're set to close in a couple of weeks on her house. So hopefully, we'll just ask for your prayers that all of that would go well. After the week and a half of her moving in here and living with us, then we were able, just this past weekend, to move her into her new apartment. So she loves her new place, but you know, as you can imagine, it is quite a change for her. So you know, just helping her to get adjusted to all the changes and everything that she's going through right now. So we did get her moved in. Everything's going fine with that. My mom's doing well, and enjoying her new place. So we did get her moved in. We still need to have the house closed, because that part hasn't been completed, and there's a few other things going on as well. But we just were not able to film with all of that going on at that time. I'm so grateful that when this all happened, Sophie and I were on spring break, and Katie was also on spring break. So that alleviated that part of, you know, trying to get school done and help my mom. We were able to be kind of all hands on deck for her and not have to worry about our own stuff quite as much. So we just kind of set aside YouTube, focused on mom for a few weeks, and I feel like we've got all of that under control now. So again, I really appreciate all your prayers and your sweet comments, and just wanted to come on here and say thank you, and we love y'all, and we really appreciate your support. A couple of other updates for those of y'all who have asked me how Katie is doing in school. I just wanted to give you an update there. So as you may know, this was Katie's first year as a college student. She is commuting, and she did do dual enrollment as her senior year of high school. She didn't quite finish her freshman year. She got, there's 30 credits were needed to be completely done with her freshman year, and she had all but 7 of those credits by the time she graduated high school. So she has been, she's done her advising. She's a sophomore now, almost a junior by credits. And so she's going to be taking 2 classes in the June semester over the summer, and that will have her as a junior for next year. She's got approval today, when she had her advising meeting, to be able to take junior level classes for her major, which is business. It's a business degree with a marketing concentration. So she got approval for that. So she's going to be taking junior level classes next year, and she's going to be actually considered to be a junior. So she now has officially skipped, I guess, her sophomore year. she was a sophomore most of this year and kind of more like a freshman in her senior year of high school. So for college purposes, this was her first year that she was enrolled as a freshman, part of the or the first semester, a sophomore the second semester, and then she'll have 2 more years. She'll do her junior year next year and then her final senior year the year after that. So she'll be graduating a year early. So that was wonderful news for her, and we're very, very proud of her. Also for Sophie, with her homeschooling, those of y'all that keep up with that, I wanted to let you know on the change we made in our recent curriculum changes to ACES PACES, which we are using for Bible, we're using for math and spelling and English, and that is just going phenomenally well. Sophie, you know, it does have a test after every unit. Sophie is usually making 100 on those tests, or either like a 95, something a very high score. So that is really wonderful. I do think that they call them mastery-based units, but there's enough spiral in there where it's good for Sophie. I do think the just constant repetition and just repeating of all the information on that mastery focus is really good for Sophie, but she also has to have some level of spiral to just kind of not leave concepts and ideas behind, but to keep revisiting those. And so that is going very well for her, very, very well. She's actually already halfway through the math curriculum for the level that she's in, and she's almost halfway through the English curriculum. So she's moving through it quickly, which is fine. We'll just keep going at the pace that she needs to go through, and so that's wonderful. That's another great update for us. So that's kind of what's going on. Everything else is pretty much status quo and normal, but I wanted to let you guys know what's been going on lately. And like I said, we just really appreciate y'all so much for being here and all the support that you've given us. And I'm now going to go ahead and insert some footage for last night, where I'm going to share just a simple supper. I do have Weight Watchers points attached for this, but it is a air fryer chicken with some rice and green beans. The rice is like a French onion soup rice. It kind of reminds me of like a church potluck recipe type of thing. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and insert that footage here, and just want to say thank you so much for being here today. And if you are new to our channel, my typical content is homemaking and also just little odds and ends about our life, my journey on Weight Watchers, our journey as a homeschool family, and things like that. So if that's the kind of content that you enjoy, please go ahead and subscribe, and I'll go ahead and share the supper recipe right here.
So let's get started with the rice. We call this brown rice, but it's actually 1 cup of white rice, just uncooked white rice, and we're going to add a can of either beef broth or beef consomme, as well as a can of French onion soup. So you'll see me draining off the soup and kind of discarding the chunks of onions, just because my family doesn't like the texture of that. So you definitely want to get the soup in there, and you can very easily just pour the whole can in there. You don't have to strain it like I'm doing here. This is just an additional step because my family doesn't like the chunks of onions. So we're just going to add these 2 cans of soup, mix up the rice, and add a little bit of butter to the top, and then we'll bake it. So I added about a tablespoon of butter altogether. Then I'm going to cover it in foil and bake it for about 25 minutes covered at 425 degrees. And then after the 25 minutes, I'm going to take the foil off and cook it for an additional 20 to 25 minutes until the rice is soft and the water has been absorbed. For the air fryer breaded chicken, I used half a cup of Progresso Parmesan breadcrumbs. If you didn't have that particular brand, you could probably just add Parmesan cheese to regular breadcrumbs. Then I'm also adding a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt and onion powder, and I'll mix that around. That's going to be the breading for our chicken, and I'm using 4 chicken cutlets, which are just the chicken breasts that have been cut to make them slimmer. And then I'm also going to use 2 eggs to coat the chicken in before dredging them through the breadcrumb mixture. Friends, we'd love to pray for you. If we can pray for you, let us know in the comments below. I've lined my air fryer basket with parchment paper, and I always find that this works better when I poke holes in it. And so that's what I'm doing here before I go ahead and coat the chicken. And you could serve any vegetable with this that you want, but we are just making it quick and using some canned green beans. I always add a beef bouillon cube just to make them taste a little bit better. So that's what I'm doing here, is adding this, and I'll have those simmer while I make everything else.
It's the same old story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to straighten up my bones and be a man. I gotta tear this wall apart to let you in. My friends say the time's running out, so take the chance. Make a move, 'cause the store won't stay open till the end. Won't you tear my world apart? 'Cause I know I need a start to let you know. When it's over, I will see what I've done. Let it go too soon. Oh, I'd be stronger if you just step right in.
You can use a spray oil to spray your chicken if you like before putting it in the air fryer. I did it at about 350 degrees for about 10 minutes on each side, and I did check it with a thermometer just to make sure that it was 165 degrees and was thoroughly done. So that is our dinner, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Days pass and I'm still the same inside my head.